session is going to be all about all the different reasons why you haven't achieved your goals yet. Now, I want to just get straight into it because I have so much to share. Initially, I wrote down a list of 15 things that I see. You know, I'm a business mentor. I help thousands of people around the world with their at-home businesses in the health and wellness space, and I see the same patterns happening time and time again. So I was just writing all these things out, and I kind of was like, this should be a book. But then I was like, no, this should be a soul session. So I might not get through the whole list today. This might be part 1 because there are lots of things on here. Now, I'll do part 2 next week if I don't get through the list. But one thing I do want to say to you guys is this. There is going to be 2 people who listen to this soul session today. And you get to self-select which one you're going to be. You're going to be the one who listens and nods your head at a few of them, because a few of them will totally resonate with you. You'll be like, yep, I do that. Some you'll be like, no, that's not me actually. I'm pretty proud to say that's not me. But the ones of you who recognize some of the traits that I'm about to share, you're either going to take action on it or you're going to finish this soul session and never do anything about it. So there's 2 types of people here. I want you to let me know in the comments, who are you going to be today? Are you going to be the person who takes action on what you recognize? Or are you going to be someone who just, goes on with your week and goes, yeah, I totally recognize those traits in me, but I'm just not going to do anything about them. So I want to give you and empower you with the opportunity to choose how you're going to take this information today. Now, you guys know Soul Sessions is all about no BS. It's real AF conversations here. So I might offend some people today by saying some of the things that I do. If that happens, please know that that is something triggering you to take action, to do something about it, because it's something that you've recognized, okay? And what I'm about to share as well are things that the people around you who are watching you not achieve your goals want to say, but they don't want to hurt your feelings, right? So for me as a business owner, I pay a coach a lot of money to tell me what I'm about to tell you. So I want you to take this piece of information as free advice that I pay my high-end coach to say, Shani, I'm going to call you out on this. This is what you're doing here. So it's all about constructive feedback, and a successful entrepreneur or a successful parent or a successful wife, husband, person in whatever workplace is someone who opens their heart and their eyes and their mind to open and constructive feedback. So that's what this call is going to be all about today. And I want to share this with you because I want you guys to win. I want you guys to wake up and win on a Monday and just crush your week. So let's get started because it's a long list and I don't want this to go for too long. So I have a list of 15 here. Let's see how far we get into the list. So the first one I've written down here is number 1, you have a failure of recognizing and clearly defining exactly what it is that you want out of life. Now, this might seem really basic, but I talk to hundreds of people a week, hundreds and hundreds of people a week. New people, people I'm working with, people that I've known for a long time, people who are brand new. My job requires me to talk to so many people. So I have a couple of my favorite questions that I love to ask people when I meet them for the first time or when I check in on them. So one of them is, what do you want out of life? And you would be so surprised how many people I ask this question to and they have no idea what they want out of life. They say, I don't know what I want out of life. I just want to be happy. I just want to feel a bit free. I just want to be less stressed. And I just want to say right now, that is not enough. That is not enough. You need to know with desire and with this sense of certainty that this is what I want, this is what I want to achieve, this is how much I want to earn, this is who I want to impact, this is how many clients I want, this is what I want my schedule to look like, my work, my week, my day. You have to be so clear on it. And so many people are just like, I don't know. And a lot of business owners, I'll be like, okay, tell me, if we could fast forward 12 months from now and you could put any dollar figure in your bank account, what is that dollar figure? And it has to put a smile on your face. And this is usually the response I get. Ooh, I don't know what's realistic. Or they'll say, no, you know what? I'm not doing this for the money. And all of that is bullshit, right? You have to know how much money you want in your bank account for you guys to achieve your goals. If you're not here for the money, that's a lie. You are. Otherwise, you do what you're doing for 10 cents an hour. And if you are unsure that your goal is realistic or unrealistic, well, go out there and find out. But second of all, I don't think there's such thing as an unrealistic goal. Like, set a goal and just start working for it, right? So number 1 was failure to recognize and clearly define exactly what you want. Be clear. Be so clear. Like, if someone was to say to you right now, what are your top 3-year goals? What are the 3 things you want to achieve this year? What are they? Do you know what they are? Pop them in the chat. I want to know what they are. I know my top 3 goals. I made them on the 1st of January 2021, and it's all I look at every day. I look at my board with all my goals and I go boom, boom, boom. I repeat it twice a day because that's how clear I am. So, second thing, procrastination. Oh, that word is so freaking annoying, right? Procrastination. So the second reason why you're not achieving your goals is because you make up a shitload of excuses about why you haven't done the task or the project or whatever that it is that you need to do to create the success and the goal that you want to create. So let me tell you a little bit about procrastination and why you do it. I think it's important to understand the psychology behind procrastination, and once you understand what's happening, then you can move past it. Now, I think the topic procrastination is a whole other soul session on its own. So if you guys would love a soul session on procrastination, please let me know and I will do a full big one. But in a nutshell, what's happening when you procrastinate is, let me know if you write like this long to-do list. If you like, if you think about like a brain dump, or when you write your to-do list, then there's just all these things on your to-do list. And you look at it, and rather than taking action on it, you just stare at it with overwhelm and anxiety and then don't do anything at all. Fiona's like, yes. Okay, so let me tell you why that's happening. First of all, you've not asked yourself a really key question. And the key question is this: is this task or is this project, whatever you've just popped on your to-do list, is this item going to significantly help me grow this year? I want you to write that down. It's such a good question. So whenever I have like an idea pop up in my mind, or I have a team member that chucks an idea at me, this is something that happens on a daily occurrence. I'll just be in the shower and I'll be like, oh, that's such a good idea. Or, someone will reach out to me and be like, hey, we should really fix this, or we should upgrade this, or have you thought about this? And I'm always like, yeah, these are great ideas. But I get the to-do list, right? Like, I'm the one who has to go and do it. So I always ask myself, is this item going to significantly grow me and my business this year? If the answer is yes, then it goes on a 2021 timeline. And what that looks like is, this project is going to go in March 2021. It's something that I'm going to work on in March. Or maybe it's going to be April. Or maybe it's going to be, in 6 months from now. Because right now I've got other projects that I'm working on, and other tasks and other things that I'm doing that are yes to significantly growing my business this year. So that's my focus right now. If it compromises what I'm doing right now, it goes on a later month. So I love using things like Asana, which is an awesome free project management program. Trello is another really good one. I use Asana. So I've got my 2021 year out on Asana. And right now we're in February. So I've got my projects and my tasks that I'm completing this year. And then if something new pops up, I'll ask myself the question, is it going to significantly grow my business this year? If it's a no, it just gets taken off the list. It doesn't even get looked at. And if it's a yes, I look at my year where I can place that project, because I'm realistic with myself. I know I can only have a handful of things going on at one time. If I've got multiple things happening, then I'm overwhelmed. I look at it and I'm like, there's just too much to do here, and I'm just not going to get any of it done. I'd rather sit on the couch and eat my sorrows away with vegan chocolate and a Netflix show, and then I get nothing done. So I'm really realistic about where I put my tasks. And sometimes, you know what, I'll look at a task and I'll be like, this is great. It will significantly grow my business, but it will compromise what I'm working on right now, because what I'm working on right now, I've already agreed to, I've said yes to it, and I want to do that task with excellence. So if that's going to compromise my excellence with the projects I have on task right now, then it just gets pushed out later in the year, or if it feels even better, off the list. It's just a no for now. If I can delegate it, awesome. If it's something I have to do, that's my system. So that's why people procrastinate, because they have this long to-do list and they just get overwhelmed. So stop doing that to yourself. Do you know how good it feels when you remove something off your list that's in front of you right now and you put it later in the year, or maybe you just take it off completely? Your mental dashboard is just like, So like right now, I have 3 things on my to-do list rather than 100. And that's my whole thing on procrastination. There's a psychology behind it. You are overwhelming yourself and it's stopping you from achieving the goal that you have at hand. Mandy is saying, that is so me. Get yourself an Asana account. It is free, and start to plan out your year. Projects that don't need to be done right now, Just take it off your list. Okay, number 3. How are we going for time? Okay, maybe we won't get through the whole list today. I thought we wouldn't. Number 3 is, this is a good one. So, self-satisfaction. Now, what I want to say about this is that when you're achieving little tasks or you're having small wins, you're not celebrating them. So for example, maybe you have been working really hard on your social media presence, or you want to have more clients join you, or maybe if you're not in the business space, maybe you are, wanting to work on your health, or you're wanting to lose some weight, or you're wanting to meditate every morning or do a morning routine, whatever it is, whatever goal you have, every single goal needs to be broken down into little itty bitty, tiny little baby steps, right? So whatever goals you have, chunk them down. Now, as you achieve those little chunks, you have to celebrate the small wins. So many people I work with, they'll get a goal, a really big goal, mind you, like they'll get their first client their first ever client, or they'll achieve something really cool in their business, or they'll increase their paycheck or something. And it's just like, yep, done, gone. Okay, what's the next thing? And it's like, whoa. We have to celebrate that. Like, how are you going to celebrate? What are you going to do to relish in that self-satisfaction? So this happens a lot with high achievers, and it happens a lot with A-type people, or red personality, if you listen to my podcast episode on personality colors and stuff like that. So your go-getters, your people who are just are obsessed with the to-do list, right? Like crossing it off and ticking things off. Those types of people forget to celebrate their little small wins, and then what happens is they dismiss it, and then they go on to the next thing. And let's not pretend for a second. When you reach a goal, you usually have to do more work to achieve the next thing, right? There's an increase in output, or there is something new or something you have to up level in to achieve that next goal. And so then you're like constantly in the slog of it. You're just like, oh my God, I'm always hustling. Oh my God, I'm always working on my business. Oh my gosh. And it's like, wait, you didn't celebrate that other thing the other week that was really amazing that you achieved. Like, how are you going to celebrate? So for those of you who resonate with this point, the self-satisfaction, that you don't self-satisfy, I want you to make a list of things that you want to do as a celebration when you achieve things off your list. So call it, I don't know, write it in your notebook and write how I'm going to celebrate. And underneath that, I want you to write all the different things, even if it's small, right? Maybe like you'll tee up a small win with a small celebration, and then like a big win with a bigger celebration, right? So I want you guys to write a list of things down. And that's how I have my whole goal thing set up. I've got all the goals that I want to achieve, and then I've got a list of how I'll celebrate. And I make sure I celebrate and I have that self-satisfaction. So that is my third tip. If you don't celebrate the small wins, you'll burn out. You'll forget everything you've achieved. And this is the other thing. It's so important for you to remember everything you have achieved, because it gives you the confidence that you can continue to achieve in the future. So what I mean by that is I actually want you guys to do this activity. Write down like little asterisks next to this. I want you to write down, what is everything that I've achieved in my life since I was born? Now this could be an all-day activity. Let's go through some things though. I learned how to walk. That's an achievement. I survived my first day at school. Whatever, like I'm just making stuff up, but go through your timeline of since you were born. And then, the things that you've achieved as an adult, some really cool milestones. I want you to write that down because it's important for you to physically see, like, I can overcome adversity. I can overcome anything. Like, look at all these pages of things that I've achieved. Oh my gosh, if I can do this, I can continue achieving. So that's really important. That's a little bit of a side note. I digress, I'm sorry. But that's a good activity to do. So the fourth reason why you are not achieving your goals is one of my favorite things to talk about. And again, I see so many people who just quit on themselves, or they'll take a step back, or they will, I need to have some breathing room. I need to have some space, or whatever is going on for them. And that's just a protective mechanism, because the fourth thing is you're not embracing frustration, adversity, struggle, challenge. So whenever you are aiming for a goal, you're always going to come up against those things: adversity, challenge, struggle, frustration. That's just the game. And you're delusional if you think that it's not going to be like that. So I get a lot of people that I work with who are like, this is too hard. I've been trying way too long, and I'm just gonna have a break, or I'm just gonna take a step back, or this isn't aligning with me anymore. No, it's not that it's not aligning with you. It's just that you don't have the guts to keep going. And I'm being so real with you guys. I always say soul sessions are real AF conversations. They're the type of conversations that people are avoiding. And so I'm putting myself out there and maybe coming across as a little bit ruthless, but this is just what it is. You're giving up because you think it's meant to be easy. It's not. It's never going to be easy. It has to be hard. It has to be hard because you need the characteristics and the qualities and the traits of someone who's a level higher than you for you to get there first. So if you look at someone who's really successful and they inspire you, and you're like, I want to be like them, you have no idea what it took for them to get there. It might look like they were an overnight success, but they weren't. They went through so much adversity, frustration, challenge, failure, rejection, criticism for them to get to where they are. But the difference between them and you is that you're giving up and they just didn't. That's the only difference. So what I want to say about this is there have been so many times in my personal business journey that I really wanted to give up. Not like throw in the towel, like I'm done with this business, I'm over it. Like if I'm truthful, I've never wanted to give up on my business. I've never, ever, ever wanted to give up on my business. So it's really, and just talking real with you here, it's really difficult for me to empathize with people who want to give up on their business, because I'm like, I just don't know what that feels like. I've never wanted to give up. Like I've had hard times, but I've never wanted to give up. But there have been times where I've been like, oh, this is just too much. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this next level of growth, because this is hard. This is really, really hard for me. But there's been this, I guess, like a fork in the road. Every time that happens, I always see it as a fork in the road. I can literally be the person who says, I'm going to take a step back. I'm just going to have a breather. I'm going to quit my business. I'm going to whatever. Or the other side of it is, I'm just going to keep going, because nothing good comes from quitting, because quitters never win and winners never quit. So that's just been me, my whole business journey. Like if you want to have like a real magnifying glass into my mindset, into my brain, that's just how I think. I've never given up. I've never wanted to quit. I've always just gone, this is really hard. I'm just going to keep going. And so when I work with people who say they want to quit or they want to give up, the coach inside me is like, oh my God, like you are literally, this is why you're not achieving anything. But you can't say that as a coach, but I can say that on my soul sessions because I'm talking generally, right? So this is what the people around you wish they could say to you, but they can't because they don't want to offend your feelings. Or this is the advice that that high level $10,000 a month coach would say to you if you had the money to pay them. The reason you're not achieving your goals is because you keep quitting on them, and you keep taking a step back, and you keep having a break, and you're inconsistent, and every time it's hard, and every time you're frustrated, and every time you've come across challenge or adversity, you've had a break or you've taken a step back. And I'm sorry to say, but you're just going to keep finding yourself in this vortex of failure every time you do that. So the answer to get through that is to just freaking do it. Just freaking get up and keep doing it. Don't give up. Stop taking a break. People who are successful don't do that. That's just not wired in their brain. They're just, if you want to be a high performer, if you want to be extremely successful, if you want to have the dream life that you think about every single day, that you've got on your vision board, that you've got in your mission statement, if you want to live a life beyond what people live, then you have to keep going. It's persistence. And that was the word I was looking for when I said the last one, that I think the reason why people fail is because they don't have persistence. You don't have persistence. You don't have a willingness to keep going. You have this desire to just stop and take a break. And that's just not what successful people do. So I think I might leave it there because I've gone through a fair bit. I have a long list here. So maybe next week I'll do part 2 to the reasons why you are not achieving your goals. If you took a lot from today, I want to hear about it. Pop it in a comment below. I want to hear like what your biggest takeaway was. I want you to share this with a friend who needs to hear it. If you've been thinking about someone who you think is one or all of these 4, I guess let's call them symptoms, because they're symptoms. You can totally overcome symptoms. If you can think of someone that you think will really benefit from this and needs to hear it and needs a little gentle kick up the tush, then please share this with them, tag them in this. If it was you that needed to hear this today, please be that person who takes action. So the best thing you can do to take action, the first thing is go over the 4 topics that I went over today and rate yourself out of 0 to 10. So 0 is, oh my God, like, wait, hold on. Rate yourself out of 10. I'm trying to do it back to front. Rate yourself out of 10. 10 out of 10 means you don't do this at all. Like you are not that person. A 0 is, oh my God, I'm this person. 5 is like, sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Rate yourself out of 10 and then start taking action. Maybe if you've got mentors in your life or buddies who are also in business, maybe share this video with them and say, hey, I've just rated myself these 4 things. Watch this video because I want you to then talk to me, give me open feedback, open criticism. Actually, it's not even criticism. It's constructive feedback on how I can do better. So what do you see that I do that I can improve on? And that, my friends, is just the most amazing first step that you can take. And join me next week, same time, soul session on Monday. I'm going to be doing the rest of the steps. So I hope this helped you. Let's go achieve those goals. It's time to start rewiring your brain on how you think, how you behave, how you show up. And these are the 4 things that you can do today. You can start doing today. And next week's are going to blow your mind even more. Okay, guys, loved hanging out with you today. Thanks for joining me. I can't wait to hear your feedback. Okay, bye.